right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. I know I was gone for a little while, but I'm back now, and we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get into it. The first story that I have for you guys today, the results from the 2021 Yamamoto Cup in Italy that wrapped up this weekend. So over the past couple of days, I've been looking at all the photos, watching all the videos and recaps on the Yamamoto Pro. Your winner at that show was Nathan Asha. In second place, again second to Nathan, Roelly Winklaar. In third place, Samson Dauda. Fourth place, Andre Presti. Fifth place, Theo Laguerrier. In sixth place, Milan Sadik. And also worth mentioning, Tim Budishim in seventh. So overall, looking at all the footage and photos, my first opinion of this show was that I like this package that Nathan brought here the best of the three that we've seen so far. I thought he looked really good here. Now, of course, this is Nathan's third consecutive win. He won the Arnold Classic UK a few weeks back, and he also won that Europa Spain a few months back, where he first beat Roelly Winklaar. But I think this was the best of those three packages based on what I've seen so far. He looked really good. And I guess the question now kind of becomes, can he be stopped? He's 3 for 3, which is very rare. And it's also worth mentioning that he qualified for this past 2021 Olympia, and he's qualified for next year's Olympia, 2022. Now, I guess the question is, with all the legal issues that Nathan has had over the past couple of years, is will he be able to get a visa to come over here to compete in the Olympia next year? My understanding was he was also invited to the Arnold Classic, this year's Arnold Classic, but was not able to attend that. And then, of course, we didn't see him on the Olympia stage, even though he was qualified. So I'm wondering if he will be able to get over here for next year's Olympia that he's qualified for really early on. Keep in mind, Nathan lives in the UK. Maybe qualifying early will help him be able to get whatever he needs to get over here to compete for the Olympia. But that's the first thing. The second thing is Roelly Winklaar, second to Nathan again. Is this the end, the tail end of Roelly Winklaar's career, or will we see more from him after he goes back to the drawing board? Now, he put up this post on his Instagram. He says, being out for over a year made it tougher for me than I ever could have imagined. Keep in mind, he skipped last year's Olympia, and he didn't compete for quite some time. 2021 wasn't my best year, and I own up to it. Next year, I promise you that you will see a different Roelly. Thank you to my true fans, the ones who have always supported me and continue to support me. So, will we see a different Roelly last year, or will we see more of the same? That's the question that we're waiting to see answered. Personally, there are a lot of factors. I think there really is a case to be made that we could see a better version of Roelly. He spent a lot of time this year not competing, a lot of time not able to train because of the lockdown. But there's also the fact that Roelly's in his mid-40s and he's been competing as a pro for over a decade. So I guess only time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see until next year. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Can Roelly pull off a better package next year? And by the way, the video that Roelly's using on this page from Gilco Productions, really, really high-quality Olympia footage. If you want to see some really good footage, check out Gilco Productions on Instagram. Now, next up in the news, let's get into the more current events here. This is what everybody's talking about right now. The upcoming show, the Legion Sports Festival. They just released their official competitor list for men's open bodybuilding, and boy, did it get people talking. Now, there's some very interesting things about this competitor list. First, let me show it to you guys, and maybe you guys can guess what those things are. So you've got Nerio Angulu, Tonio Burton, Max Charles, Shaun Clarida. Keep in mind, this is the list for men's open bodybuilding. Rafael Del Real, Jesus Martin Hernandez Escobedo, Martin Fitzwater, Regan Grimes, Brandon Hatton, Scott Lightfoot, Stan De Longu, Stanimal, Cedric McMillan, Patrick Moore, Sergio Oliva Jr., Christian Salcido, Joe Seaman, and Ron Stevens. So for me, the big surprise was seeing Shaun Clarida's name in this list. Shaun Clarida, obviously last year's 212 Olympia champ, this year's 212 Olympia runner-up, and arguably one of the smaller guys in 212. So we're going to see if he can pull off a Hadi Chupin, because keep in mind, Hadi came over from 212. Bonac did as well. We're going to see if he can pull off a Hadi Chupin and come straight from 212 and win a men's open bodybuilding show, which would be a crazy accomplishment. Now, keep in mind, when comparing, let's say we're comparing Hadi and Shaun, I would say that Hadi is probably 40 pounds heavier. Even though Hadi's a shorter guy, he's technically a smaller guy. I'd say Hadi 40, 50 pounds heavier than Shaun Clarida. So this raises a couple of questions. Number one, what is Shaun's goal here? Is he trying to qualify for next year's Men's Open Olympia and compete there? Is this his official switch from 212 to Open? And keep in mind, to the best of my knowledge, there is no rule in the IFBB that prevents somebody from switching divisions. I believe, whether it's 212 to bodybuilding, bodybuilding to men's physique to bodybuilding, as long as you're already a pro, I believe you can compete in whatever division you want. Now, granted, you got to qualify for the Olympia in that division, but you can switch it up as much as you want. You can go from classic to bodybuilding, whatever you want to do, which is really the cool part about the IFBB. A pro is a pro is a pro. And the other thing you've really got to consider here is the fact that you've got Men's Open Bodybuilding Olympians in this lineup. Patrick Moore just competed at the Olympia. Cedric has been to the Olympia many times. Regan Grimes just competed at the Olympia. Max Charles, former Olympian. Sergio Oliva Jr., top guy at this year's Arnold Classic. This is going to be a really competitive show for the Men's Open guys. So the question is, where is Shaun going to land in all of this? Now, granted, one of Shaun's really strong points that really lands him these higher placings is conditioning. It's not going to be size that wins him this show. Now, actually, as I'm recording this video, it looks like Shaun put out a post that says he's not leaving the 212 division. So I guess this is just an attempt to challenge himself and to really put his nickname of the Giant Killer to the test. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I guess the question really would be, what if he does win the show? What if he qualifies for next year's Open Olympia? He's already qualified for next year's 212. What if he just competes in both? As far as I know, again, there's nothing saying he can't do that. And I'll be honest with you guys, a guy that I would love to see try his hand at Men's Open Bodybuilding would be Derek Lunsford. I think he's got the size, he's got the structure. He's a big 212 guy. He was saying he weighed like 250, 255 or something in the offseason during his prep for this Olympia. Derek is really a guy that I truly think without a weight cap, he could be, every bit of a Hadi Chupin or a William Bonac. But Shaun Clarida, even with the 212 weight cap, he comes in like, 30 pounds beneath that weight limit. So it's not like Shaun is maxing out that division, but you've got guys like Derek that, really pretty much are. Now, another show that happened this weekend, a little bit closer to me, Louisville, Kentucky. Peter Molnar competed there at the Kentucky Muscle in the Classic Physique category, earning himself his qualification for next year's Mr. Olympia. Keep in mind, he just took 14th at this year's Olympia, but he's looking to go back in the Classic Physique division next year and hopefully try to improve upon that 14th place, trying to crack the top 10. Now, I really like Peter's physique, but I think it's a little bit unfortunate that we don't really get to see him in his prime. He is in his 40s, and he didn't really make the switch over to the IFBB until realistically the tail end of his career. So we're not seeing prime time, like 25 to 35-ish Peter Molnar. We're seeing an older version, and that's why I think he's getting the placings that he's getting at the Olympia. So the question is going to be, at his age, with time not on his side, will he be able to improve? Or have we already seen the best version of Peter Molnar in years past, and this last couple of years is just like his swan song? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also in the news, Rafael Brandao, the Brazilian bodybuilding sensation, just weeks away from stepping on stage in November at, I believe, the Romania Muscle Fest Pro is where he intends to make his comeback, posting a lot of physique updates, a lot of progress pictures, keeping us posted on how he's looking. He's a guy that we haven't seen since, I believe, the Europa Spain, where he competed against James Hollingshead. And look, this guy is dangerous. This guy's the real deal. I'm really excited to see him come back. I know he's off of a lot of people's radars right now because we haven't seen him compete in so long. He had some setbacks. I believe he actually caught COVID at one point. His wife had some health issues, but now he's back in the game, and I think he's going to really be, if he gets that 2022 Olympia qualification and wins that Romania show, I think he's going to be a guy that's in the conversation as a potential top guy at next year's Mr. Olympia. That's one of the things I like about having this channel is some of these international guys that get overlooked in the build-up to some of these shows. And I like the fact that I can put these guys on here and you guys know who they are when it comes time for the Olympia, when it comes time for these shows. You guys are not caught off guard when you see these names and these lineups of these international guys. So that is the news for now. We got Legion Sports Fest coming up this weekend. A lot of interesting stuff still going on in bodybuilding, even post-Olympia. Now, I believe all the Olympia videos that got taken down at this point are back up on my channel. So you should be able to watch those. Let me know if you can't. But it looks like they're all back up, so that's good news. I got back from my weekend trip. I was in the ER while I was there. I was having really bad chest pain, so I ended up going to the ER because the symptoms lasted for hours, didn't seem to improve, so I went to the ER. So all this stuff kind of contributed into why I've been gone and haven't really posted on the channel in a few days. But I'm back now. I'm back to stay. I'll be posting regularly again. I missed you guys. It's good to be back. Thank you guys for all the support, all the good positive messages that I received when I posted the initial story on my Instagram that I was in the ER. It really cheered me up. It was really cool to see how many people were saying they miss me on the channel, all that good stuff. So I love you guys. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you're glad that NSP is back. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.